Hi everyone, my name is Deepa Rana. I'm an escalation engineer here at Riverbed, and in this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to create a custom crypto policy on NetProfiler running version 10.20 or later. Starting 10.20, NetProfiler is making use of system-wide cryptographic policies to configure the core cryptographic subsystems like SSL, TLS, SSH, etc. Here, with the help of this policy, you can actually configure the NetProfiler to accept only specific ciphers, algorithms, etc. to be security compliant. In this demo, we are going to see how we can check the current active crypto policy on NetProfiler, its configuration, and how we can edit this crypto policy as per our requirement. So let's get started. For this video, I'm using virtual NetProfiler, but the steps would be same for physical appliance, enterprise cluster, and even for Flow Gateway. I'm going to start with running Mazu-version. As you can see here, this NetProfiler is on 10.20, where the concept of crypto policy is applicable or valid. Next would be to view the content of root etc host file. This is going to list out all the IPs or details regarding all blades available on this. You can see here in my case, there is only one blade, that is blade 0. And this is the IP related to this blade 0. In case of a single blade, the command to check the current active crypto policy would be sudo space sysmgmt underscore CLI space dash dash get space dash dash crypto underscore policy. This is how the output is going to look like. As you can see here, the current crypto policy is cascade and the status is config applied, system rebooted. So enabling the new policy does require a reboot for it to take effect. And this is where you can actually check if the same has been applied or not. If you have applied the policy, but reboot has not been done yet, you'll see something like system requires reboot here in place of system rebooted. In case of enterprise cluster NetProfiler, where it would have multiple blades, you need to run the same commands on all blades to know the current active policy for each of them. And for that, you can make use of mazu-run utility to execute the commands on all blades sequentially. Let me show you how you can make use of this utility. Mazu-run space dash capital H double quotes echo semicolon space host name semicolon space sudo sysmgmt underscore CLI space dash dash get space dash dash crypto underscore policy and double quotes. So after quotes, whatever the commands I have typed, these commands are going to run sequentially on each blade, and we are going to get presented with the output of these commands. Like first, you will get the host name of the blade, and then you will get the output of this command, which is same as what I have used before to get the current crypto policy details. So let's run it. In case of multiple blades, you'll see for each blade, you'll find current crypto policy details here on the single page. This Mazu-run utility requires known password login. That is, you need to have successful key-based authentication between your NetProfiler blades to let it run successfully. So this was all about how we can check current active policy on NetProfiler. Once we have identified that, we can simply view the content of the policy by logging onto that specific blade and checking the content of active policy, which would be found under directory path, root, and then etc crypto dash policies. So this is the path, etc under root, etc directory, under etc directory, crypto policies, under that policies. So this is the absolute path of the directory where all the crypto policies, all the available crypto policies would be placed. If you try to enter into this directory with Mazu user, you're going to get something like this as an error, permission denied, because this particular directory requires special privileges that Mazu doesn't have, right? So how we are going to view the content of this directory is using list utility with sudo ls dash l space etc crypto dash policies. Here you'll see these are all the crypto policies that are available on this blade, and they all would be ending with .pol. So you can set any of these as active based on your requirement and of course the configuration of the policy. To view the content of active crypto policy, which is Cascade in my case, I'm going to simply make use of cat utility with sudo. So command would be sudo cat, again the absolute path of directory where all crypto policies are kind of placed. And then I'm going to extend it with my policy name. So here's the configuration of my current crypto policy. You can see that it does contain all this hashing algorithm, MAC, sign, TLS ciphers that NetProfiler is allowed to accept. One thing to note over here is all crypto policy is ending with .pol extension. And another thing is that all crypto policies would be having their name as in all uppercase letters. So that's again something you need to make sure when you configure a new custom policy. Moving further, if you want to create a new custom policy or make any changes in crypto current policy, it is not advisable to make changes directly to applied current policy. And the recommendation is to first make a copy of your current policy, make changes to that copy, and lastly, make that copy policy as active policy. You can make the copy of the file in same directory as well, but for extra precaution, we suggest to make a copy of the policy on Mazu home directory. So to do that, sudo cp location of my current crypto policy cascade.home, and I'm going to copy it to Mazu home directory, and I'm going to name it as copy cascade dot. Okay, let's navigate to Mazu home directory. We are already on it. So I'm just going to list the content of this directory, and you can see that there's a copy has been created for my active running crypto policy. To view the content of it, you can use sudo cat and then copy cascade.pol, and you'll see this policy content is similar to what you have for your current crypto policy because this is actually a copy of it. Once that's done, we want to edit it and make changes to it so that it can be used as per our requirement. And to do that, we are going to use Vim editor. So sudo vi, and the name of copied policy, hit enter. Once you hit enter, press I to get into insert mode. You can see that at end of the session, there is insert written over here, which means that we are currently in insert mode and we can modify the policy accordingly. So once we are in insert mode, navigate to the line where you want to make the changes. So in my case, because I want to just remove CBC cipher, I'm just going to remove these last two ciphers from here with the help of delete or backspace button. So that's done. After you're done with the modification, just press escape. Once you do that, you'll notice that insert at the bottom of the screen has been disappeared. And now you need to press shift and colon all together, and you'll see something like colon appearing on the bottom of screen. That's where you have to just type W as in write and Q as in quit. Once that's done, just hit enter to save the changes and exit from the Vim editor. We want to double check the content of copied policy. And for that, we are going to again use sudo cat copy cascade. So here the CBC ciphers are gone, which means the modification has been completed. So we are good. Next step would be to move the policy to its original directory and then set the required privileges to it and then make that as active policy, which is pretty simple. But in case of multiple blades, before we go ahead and implement this step, we may want to distribute this copied policy to all the blades so that we can set this as an active policy for all the blades in these steps, right? And how you're going to distribute this copied policy with the help of these two commands that I'm going to run. Use sudo space podman space cp, then home mazu. This is the location where your copied file is present. File name is, I believe it was copy cascade. Let's check it again. Yep, it was copy cascade. So copy cascade dot pol sudo podman cp, then the directory name where your current copied policy is placed, and then space NetProfiler underscore alpha underscore 1 colon home mazu directory. After that, run mazu dash run space dash capital H space dash C home mazu copy cascade dot pol and then space home dash mazu and hit enter. So these two commands are going to distribute your copied policies to all the available blade on this profiler. Right. So I have run it here, but since there is only one blade, nothing has been copied anywhere because there is only single blade. So I have done it just for your understanding how you can, do it in case you have multiple blades. Moving further, now we have to copy the copied policy from mazu home directory to its original directory. And we are going to set some required honor group and privileges to it. And for that, we are going to run 3 commands, and that would be mazu dash run space dash r colon cp. So this command is to copy it back from home mazu directory. To etc directory. The next would be to set its group and owner as root. For that, we are going to make use of chon utility. We want to set it as root. And the last is to set the privileges as 6444 for that file. So we are going to use utility chmod 64 space dot 644. Right. So now we have done moving the copied policy back to its original directory. We have set the required privileges and honor. One thing to note over here is I have again used mazu-run utility for these commands so that the same command gets run on all blade. But since there is only single blade in my case, running this command is similar to running simple copy or chown or chmod command. I'm doing it in this way so that this video content kind of covers single and cluster deployment all together. So once that done, view the content of original directory to make sure that the policies has been copied successfully. And for that, you can run the same command, sudo ls space -l etc crypto policy and then policy, and make sure to run it as with mazu run because we want to view the output for all blades in the case of clustered NetProfiler. So I'm going to extend it with something like this. Right. So in my case, as there is only single blade, it has returned with host name, and then this is the content of the directory. I can see the policy has been copied over here. Its honor is set to root, group is set to root, and it does have the 644 permission set. So that looks good. We have done the verification. Next step is to set the new policy as current crypto policy on all blades. And you can do it using this command, mazu-run utility again to run it on all blade. And after that, just run this command echo host name is sudo sysmgmt _cli space -- set this time space -- crypto _ policy cascade, and the, in our case the name of the new is copy cascade. Yeah, that looks good. And just press enter. Once the command runs successfully, each blade will return this something like this with the status that config has been applied and system requires reboot. So you'll see this kind of output for each blade once this command gets successfully run on each of them. One thing to note over here is when you set the policy to be as an active policy using above command, don't mention .pol extension. So my policy name was copy cascade.pol, but I have mentioned it here without any extension, that is .pol. So if in case you run it with .pol extension, it's going to display you an error like this, that the policy cascade.pol could not be found on the system. So make sure to run this command whenever you're setting any policy as current policy. Run this command without .pol extension, right? So let's verify what the get status shows now. Right. So currently your current policy is copy cascade only, status is config applied, and system requires reboot for it to be effective. Now, you may reboot all blades simultaneously through UI, or you can reboot each blade individually by connecting to each of them and running sudo systemctl reboot. In my case, there is only one single blade, so I'm just going to run this command. So now I have run the command and I'm going to just wait for it to come up. Okay, so after some time, appliance has came back up now after reboot. And now we are going to verify the policy status after reboot. So we are going to run this command again, which would get run on all blades to check for the current active policy. And here's the output. As you can see now, the current active policy is copy cascade with status as config applied and system rebooted, which is what we wanted. Make sure that the policy status is config applied with system rebooted for all blades. Looks like the task is done. So that was all about the system-wide crypto policy configuration or modification on NetProfiler. I hope you found this session useful.